Offense built a sizable lead last night, thanks mostly to a Michael Morse grand slam. But the Brewers came storming back in the late innings and held on for a one-run win. Getaway Day features a marquee matchup with a former Cy Young winner. Miserable day in Milwaukee, and yes, some are still tailgating. The great news is this one's indoors. Thank goodness for a roof. Nats and the Brewers expected to rain all day, but we will play Game 3 of this series. Milwaukee goes for the sweep, and right now they've got one of the greatest home records in baseball. Bob Carpenter, F.P. Santangelo, frustrating loss last night. The bullpen gives up 4 runs in 2 innings. One of the very few times they have failed in the late innings this year.
And they scuffled lately, especially in this series, but that's a good hitting team. 5 runs on Monday, 4 runs last night, so 9 runs from the bullpen the first 2 games. But I'll tell you what, this has been the strong suit of this team all season long. Tyler Clippard has been outstanding, and this is going to happen throughout the course of his season. You're going to get into your ruts as a bullpen that's carried this team so far. Henry Rodriguez was put into a situation that he hasn't been in this season last night, so Jim Riggin wanted to see how he could handle the bright lights and the pressure. Didn't get the job done last night, but guess what? He's going to run him back out there if he gets the same situation today.
And when you're not going well as a ball club, that ball hits the chalk. It drives in 2 runs. Your relay to home is a little bit short. When you're going well, that ball goes a little bit foul, or else you throw that runner out at home plate.
Yeah, I said it last night during the broadcast. That one play kind of sums up the whole road trip for the Nationals. So hopefully they turn it around today.
All right, Jason Marquis, the man to do that. Not a pleasant outing for him in Baltimore in more ways than one last time out. Gave up a lot of runs, got a lot of run support, was not at all happy about coming out of that game. We know what a fierce competitor he is.
Yeah, we always like guys coming off 4 innings pitched last time. It wasn't what Jason Marquis wanted to do against the Orioles. He wanted to come out and qualify for the win. He left the game after 4 with a 1-run lead. But he battled last time, and I was talking to Jason Marquis between starts, and I said, you know what, anybody can go out there with your good stuff. I like the way you fought last time out. He wanted the ball for the 5th inning, so maybe he's going to go out there with a little chip on his shoulder today.
Even though it was a loss last night, you at least feel good the offense got some things done. Did not score any runs late in the ball game, but there were some swings last night we hadn't seen in a while.
We saw some good at-bats strung together, especially that inning that Michael Morse hit the grand slam. A couple of walks. Ian Desmond put the ball in play with 2 strikes. Jason Worth took a pitch so Ian Desmond could steal second base, and then Michael Morse worked the count to 2-0. We've seen him swing at some bad pitches. He took some borderline pitches, got the count in his favor, and hit a grand slam. So yes, there have been signs that the offense is going to come alive. And
maybe they keep doing it for Marquis, who has enjoyed pretty good run support lately. It started in Atlanta, got some on the homestand, and then he got good run support, as we mentioned, at Baltimore as well. He's 6-9 in 18 career starts against the Brewers. He'd love to keep that sinking fastball of his down and let the offense get him some runs today. Nationals getting ready for Game 3 of the series here in Milwaukee, the road trip finale. And it'll be Jason Marquis going for the Nats today. Rick ANKIEL is with us. First of all, Rick, thanks for joining us. Good to see you again. How's the wrist?
Feels good. I've been getting everything I need to do. I'm ready to roll, so happy about being back and happy about being able to come back and help the team win.
Saw you taking some swings in the cage a few minutes ago, BP. You look like you're swinging normal.
Yeah, no, I feel good. Everything's 100% where it needs to be, and I mean, get some ground balls at first with LaRoche going down, so that was fun. That went well, so we'll see what happens.
That was the next thing I was going to ask you about. Do you have any action at first base in your past, or is this something new, and do you own a first baseman's mitt?
I do have first baseman's mitt. In the last couple off seasons, I've been working at it. Last time I did it was high school, but last time I played outfield and hit was high school too, and that's worked out well. So.
Okay, so not something totally new.
No.
Now, I know that when you're injured, and it seems like you were gone for a lot more than 19 games to us, what's the toughest part about watching the ball club and not being with the guys?
Just not being able to be here and be a part of it. You miss your guys. We're around each other more than you're around your family, and you end up becoming a family. So not being here to be here, being able to help, be around the guys, and it just, the deal's no fun. So.
And when you do get back, it's kind of a crowded outfield right now.
Yeah, sure is.
Guys are playing well out there. Where do you see yourself fitting in?
See myself as the everyday starter. We'll see what happens.
I like that attitude. You could play for me any day.
Thanks.
Hey, that's Rick ANKIEL, and we're getting ready for Game 3. Good to see Rick back. The Nats and the Brewers coming up from Milwaukee. We'll have lineups, defense, and pitchers for you straight ahead from Miller Park. Brought to you by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, and by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Great day to have a roof on the ballpark here. Miserable 46 degrees outside in Milwaukee, but it's 69 inside Miller Park. Visit Trane.com for an independent Trane comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a Trane. Nationals starting lineup, and they're last in the league, no longer in batting average. It's packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. Nets hitting at 230, San Diego at 227, and Lance Nix, 372 now over his last 13 games. And he's 2 for 9 against ZACK. GREINKE saw him a number of times in the American League. So here's the Milwaukee starter, 62 and 68 career, making his 174th start. First time he's ever towed the rubber against Washington. He's been a strike thrower this year. That's on the corner. We're underway right at 1:10 Washington time.
Yeah, just his 5th start of the season. Last time out to get the Rockies, took the no decision in a 7-6 Brewer win. Went 6 innings, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, struck out 9 and walked nobody. 2-seam, 4-seam, fastball, slider, curveball, change. Sliders his out pitch. He'll go to it with 2 strikes.
Adrian Johnson gives him a couple of calls on the corner to start the game. Bernadina 2 for 10 in this series. And Roger offers at the breaking ball. He is out, says Lance Barksdale down at third base.
Sliders his out pitch. He'll go to it with 2 strikes. And Brewers defense today behind Zack Greinke, Braun, Kotze, and Hart in the outfield. They all throw very well. Craig Counsell getting the start at shortstop. It's his 466th career game at shortstop. 33 errors. Folks, he can pick it.
A walk to him, one of the biggest plays in the game last night. Here's Ian Desmond, 3 for 10 with an RBI here in Milwaukee. And Ian's had a good road trip so far, 10 base hits in 7 games. Only problem is the team record 1-6 on this trip. This was totally unexpected, as the Nats played a Mets team under 500, a Baltimore team under 500, and a Milwaukee team that was just over 500 one game when the Nats got here. So this has been a very disappointing week, to say the least. 4-year veteran Adrian Johnson to plate. Field and Culbreth, crew chief Tim Welke, and Barksdale, Lance Barksdale at third. And a breaking ball that Desmond lifts to left, but he didn't get it. Looked good off the bat, got out there and died for the second out to Ryan Braun. Nationals now under 500 in 1-run games this year. Desmond swiped another last night, 15 out of 16. And the Brewers' 8-game winning streak at home, 3rd longest in Major League Baseball this season. They are 18-6 on this field. The Cleveland Indians are 19-5 at their home. Jayson Werth, 2 for 8 here, 8 for 28 on the trip. And he has seen Zack Greinke for 1 at bat in his career, 0 for 1. As we mentioned, Greinke's a strike thrower. He's given up more hits than innings pitched, but he doesn't walk anybody. 29 strikeouts, 2 walks, and now 30 strikeouts, including his whiff of Bernadina.
You saw the 1-0 curveball to Jayson Werth. That's what Greinke will do. He'll use that curveball to steal strike 1. And 2-seam fastball about 89 to 92. His 4-seam fastball, he can run up there as high as 96.
Three and 1 to Werth, who has walked 23 times, and now it's 2 dozen. He's aboard with 2 outs. Even with that, a 10-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. It's now 30/3, including the strikeout and the walk. Only former Brewer Ben Sheets better for the Brewers in that department.
Yeah, last time out he struck out 9 and walked nobody. So already here in the first inning, a walk for Jayson Werth.
Lance Nix, he has seen Greinke 9 times. A couple of hits and an RBI in their American League days against each other. Nix goes up swinging and skies 1-2. Not very deep left center. Pulled in by Mark Kotze, and the Nats go quietly in the top of the first. Jason Marquis, 19th start against Milwaukee. Inning, the Brewers are hitting .255. That's fifth in the league. They're fifth in runs, and only the Reds now have hit more homers than Milwaukee's 53. Ricky Weeks had a big one last night. In this series, he's 2 for 6, and in his career, he's 4 for 15 against Jason Marquis. That's a real good first four of the lineup. Casey McGee, Kotze, and Lucroy to follow, and those guys at times have been productive as well. Marquis' 22nd career appearance against Milwaukee. 19th start, 6 wins, 9 losses, with a rather high 4.89 ERA.
Yeah, we talked about it last time out against the O's. He was taken out after 4 innings with a run lead. Gave up 5 runs on 8 hits, 3 walks. Didn't have his good stuff. One of his few rough outings this year.
Throws a strike in there to Weeks, who's hitting .289 with an on-base percentage of .365 in the Milwaukee leadoff spot. Jason Marquis' ERA on the rise, 4.08 coming into this start. He was well down into the 3s until recently. Keeping that ball down, that's important in this ballpark against this lineup. Weeks is a leadoff man who strikes out a lot. 50 Ks this year and 194 at bats. So he's striking out over 25% of the time. That's a pretty good 1-2 pitch, and the count evens up.
And I'll take a leadoff hitter that strikes out a lot if he's going to hit 8 home runs. We saw the ball he hit last night. He just takes his hands, they start low, he raises them up into a good launch position. Backspin the ball right out of here.
2 of those homers have led off ball games. That's a bouncer down to third for the charging Jerry Hairston. And the game starts with a ground ball for Marquis.
The defense today for the Nats behind Jason Marquis. Lance Nix in left field today. And check this out. Pudge and Ramos, the 2 catchers for the Washington Nationals, have completely shut down opponents' running games. They've gunned down 12 of 27 opposing runners, 44.4%. That leads all of baseball. So done a good job of handling the running game, Pudge and Wilson Ramos.
Here's the red-hot Corey Hart. 5 hits in this series, 4 of them home runs. So he's 5 out of 7 with 9 RBIs. 7 for 17 career against Marquis. And I stand corrected, 5 out of 8 in this series. Nats did retire him 1 time on Monday night. 2-0 pitch. A dangerous count the way he's swinging. And Marquis had a little bit of late dip. Got that ball at 91 just under his bat. That's the good hard sinker he features when he's throwing the ball well.
They haven't tried Corey Hart middle in yet this series. You see the sinker right there running in on his hands. Every home run he's hit has been out over the plate, almost away. He's gone out and hooked him.
And he's a big guy who stands well off the plate, but he is so tall and rangy, he has the ability to reach just about anything. They list him at 6'6", 234. 3-1 pitch, and he'll tap it foul to fill the count. Despite all the problems here, Nationals still lead the season series with Milwaukee 3-2, each trying to sweep on their home fields. Nats have done it. Brewers trying to match that, and they're looking to go 4 games over 500, setting up a weekend series with the Giants here. Keeping that ball down again.
And took a little off that pitch right there. But for Jason Marquis, a well-placed sinker to Corey Hart, not a whole lot you can do with it. It's probably the best pitch in baseball if you got a good turbo sinker like Jason Marquis had. You throw it in there, and the only thing you can do is pull it foul, and if you're lucky enough to keep it fair, you hit it to third base.
That's a great pitch. ball 4.
Wow. And that's what I'm talking about, a well-placed sinker. Watch where this pitch ends up, the 3-2 fastball from Jason Marquis. Just misses on the inner half. He hit a spot. The only thing you can think of is maybe that Pudge set up off the plate, but why would he do that at a 3-2 count?
Ryan Braun had his hitting streak end last night after 2 at-bats when he slammed down his helmet on a close play at first and was ejected by the guy behind the plate today. Adrian Johnson will call a strike to Braun, 2 for 7 in this series, and 8 for 18 career against Marquis. Piling up very impressive numbers, averaging well over 30 home runs a year so far. Everything Marquis has thrown has been close to being a strike so far. Good command of his sinker and his breaking ball. He's busted some right-handers inside with the number 1. Hopefully that part of the corner will expand a bit as the day goes on. League leader in homers and RBIs, Ryan Braun.
I like the game plan right now from Jason Marquis and Pudge Rodriguez. Now, we haven't seen this the first 2 games of the series, probably because of who was on the mound. But Jason Marquis with a good sinker in to win. You can't be afraid to throw in just because you're in a hitter's ballpark.
Agreed. Braun hits one hard, base hit. Ball takes a hop on Nix right at the end, and stopping at second base, Corey Hart. And now the Brewers, who have scored 5 first-inning runs in this series, have a possible rally going again.
At bottom of the strike zone, that's just where Jason Marquis wants it. Ryan Braun, nice piece of hitting going through the 5.5 hole over there. If you're seeing ground balls off the bat against Jason Marquis, you know he's got the good sinker going. That just wasn't right at somebody. Unfortunate.
Fielder 1 for 7 in the series with a first at bat home run Monday night. That's about a foot outside the bag at first. Desmond jockeying behind the runner at second. Marquis comes home and misses, and the count's even 1-1.
At Corey Hart, 2 stolen bases. He's been caught twice, but you have to pay attention to him at second base. Vary your looks, vary your delivery, vary your tempo.
It helps a bit that Desmond is nearly right behind him as they play fielder to pull.
I just let him know you're there. You haven't forgotten about him.
Corner's not available yet.
And Jason Marquis frustrated so far. Check out the body language right here after the pitch. Throws the sinker, hits his spot. Watch Jason Marquis. He wanted that one, obviously.
Well, Levon had some problems with the strike zone last night early. Settled in after that. You just hope when you settle in, Milwaukee hasn't put a couple of runs on the board. 2-1 pitch now. That's driven to right center, and the Brewers are on the board in the first inning again. Ball bangs off the wall. 1 runner home. Cutoff man missed. It's 2-0. Now Milwaukee has scored 7 runs in the 3 first innings of this series.
Check out the pitch. Check out the location. Prince Fielder going down, beating a pretty good pitch down in the strike zone, but it's out over the plate, enables him to get some serious extension, and this is where the play goes bad. Roger Bernadina throwing it over everybody's head, allowing another run to score. 2-0 Brewers in the blink of an eye.
Now Casey McGee with another runner in scoring position. Three runs Monday, 2 Tuesday, 2 Wednesday. And the Nats have been behind the 8 ball to start every game of this series. Casey McGee 3 for 9, no RBIs yet. 3 for 5 career against Marquis. Prince Fielder just drove in his league leading 38th and 39th runs. Ball 2. Jason had been outstanding in his first 9 starts of the year. He had given up only 4 runs this early in the game.
I'll tell you what, I'll put 1 through 5 in the Brewers lineup up against anybody in baseball.
Off-speed pitch tapped over to Hairston. He guns out McGee for the second out. And one more left-hander now to deal with, Mark Kotsay for Jason Marquis.
Pudge just having a serious chat with Adrian Johnson behind home plate.
Now Jim Riggleman's out.
And he wasn't showing him up. He was just talking to him, having a friendly chat. Maybe we need that sinker on that side of the plate. This is my guy. That's his pitch. And if we're not going to get that, guess what? Both of us are going to be here for a long time today. And they want those pitches. You got a team like Milwaukee that comes out swinging. You need to get every call you can get for Jason Marquis and the Nationals.
Kotsay 0 for 4. 244 hitter with 7 RBIs. Got a pitch up, did Marquis, and that's a routine fly ball to center. Roger Bernadina has it, but Prince Fielder does early damage. Michael Morse did a lot of damage last night. He'll lead off in a moment. And the Brewers have an early lead on Wired Wednesday. And today we've got left-hander Tom Gorzolani wired up.
Check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. You're good.
They hear you? Can you hear them? Hey, sit down. Sit down. I need to talk to somebody. I'm not going to talk to myself.
Well, how about some insights on pitching? We'll check it out and let you know. Top of the second comes around. Michael Morse, Danny Espinosa, and Pudge Rodriguez for the Nats.
It's okay to talk to yourself, Tom. Just don't answer yourself.
Pitchers have been talking to themselves in this game for over 100 years. Michael Morse, 4 for 9, 2 homers, a grand slam, 5 RBIs here in Milwaukee. He'll get a good test today against a pitcher who so far has thrown everything on the corners. GREINKE exhibiting pinpoint control so far. And that was a breaking ball that was hanging up in the zone a bit.
That was a good swing. Michael Morse wants that pitch right back. If he could put it on rewind and do this over again, he would, because that is a ball that he has been crushing lately.
Mike's batting average up to 282 now. He's hit .410 over the last 3 weeks, and on this road trip, 9 hits and 21 at-bats. As a member of the Mariners, he saw Zack Greinke for 2 at-bats, 0 for 2 career against him. Fastball up and away, blows him away. He has struck out the leadoff man both innings against the Nats.
I mean, he's got to reach back fastball if he wants it. He'll go 89 to 91, 92, but when he needs 94, 95 with 2 strikes, a little 4-seam fastball elevated in the zone, nothing Michael Morse can do but swing through that pitch. It had a little hair on it.
Reminds me of when the Nats used to face Pedro Martinez when he was with the Mets. When he needed the strikeout, there was another gear. And I know you played behind that kid. Danny Espinosa, 1 for 6, a walk hit by a pitch. And batting .205, fouls off the first one. Danny from the left side at a .190. Shallow at third is McGee. Ron Renicky still moves his defense around, but nothing nearly as dramatic as what we saw in Washington, when we felt his defense might have cost them a ball game or 2 in that series on routine balls that went right through usually occupied parts of the infield. They appear to be staying more straight up these days.
He had everybody on one side of the field. He had guys going in motion. He was changing formations, changing sets.
Yeah, when they ran the wishbone, that was a little too much for me. Fly ball to Braun. That's easy for him, and Espinosa's gone, 2 outs. Next up will be Pudge Rodriguez. Family Fun Pack, another one coming up this Saturday and Sunday. Padres are coming in for the weekend. It's an all-inclusive offer starting at $14, including a ticket for the ball game, hot dog, chips, and a Coke. Nationals.com/family, and some restrictions do apply. And don't forget, it's a 105 game on Saturday. We'll give you the pitching pairings for that series a little bit later. 7:05 Friday, 1:05 Saturday, 1:35 on Sunday, and then the Phillies come in for 3, and 2 of those 3 games are day games, Monday, Wednesday. Then it's back on the road for 11. The Nats haven't been home for more than 6 days in quite a while. Greinke just missing outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Career record of 62 and 68 for the 27-year-old right-hander. He's pitched 200 innings each of the last 3 years. Didn't have a winning record for Kansas City until 08. He went 13 and 10, 09. Made the All-Star team at 16 and 8 with a 2.16 ERA. And then last year in 33 starts, he was 10 and 14 as his ERA ballooned up to 4.17. For the Brewers so far, it's very high. But he's throwing the ball very well today. Pudge trying to slow down the inning, and Greinke really slowed down that breaking ball. A lot of different looks, FP, a lot of different speeds here.
Yeah, I didn't know he had that one in his pocket. Very slow curveball right there, almost like Livan Hernandez.
2-2, and Pudge strikes out on a pitch that he thought was a fastball. Greinke has fanned 3 of the first 6 men he's retired, and thanks to the Prince, Milwaukee leads 2-0. Go Brewers, and go they have so far. 2-0 Milwaukee. Call Luna for up to 70% off all flooring. 877-241-LUNA. Shop smart, shop Luna. Nationals offense this season, when Marquis starts, more than double the runs the rest of the rotation gets. Look at the difference in the batting average, on base, slugging, and runners in scoring position. Well, nothing doing so far today.
Yeah, that would be something if that happens today with the way GREINKE started this game.
27 pitches, 15 strikes for GREINKE. He was already fan 3. So Jason's going to have to keep this Milwaukee club at bay for a while. And here's the catcher, Jonathan Lucroy, who's had a really good series. 4 for 8 with a homer. He has driven in 4 runs, hitting in either the 6, 8, or 7 spots in this lineup, giving them some bottom of the lineup RBI power here. A 24-year-old catcher from Eustis, Florida. They called him up May 21st last year, and he went on to hit .253 in his first taste of big league action after 4 years in the minor leagues where he was a .298 hitter. So he's always been a catcher who could put some offense on the board.
And Bob, it's the kind of guy, the more you see him play, the more you like him.
The one thing we don't know about is his defense, FP, because his pitchers aren't giving him any help. He's only thrown out 2 out of 23 base runners. But we've seen in this series a couple of Nat steals, not his doing.
Yeah, I like the way he calls a game back there. I like the way he sets up the target he presents, and just his approach to the plate. He's had some quality at bats against the Nats in this series.
2-2. And he goes biting on a breaking ball in the dirt. The strike 2 call probably set up that swing, and I think Adrian Johnson told Pudge he's going to the dugout. You don't have to tag him. Marquis' first strikeout.
And check out the pitch from Jason Marquis. Just a little slider down the dirt. Lucroy couldn't hold up. That's when you look up at the sky and you say, why did I swing at that one?
Feel like he gave the at-bat away?
Yeah, maybe you're looking fastball away and you recognize fastball. You go to commit to it, it breaks under your bat. Good pitch from Marquis.
Last night there were 2 horrible walks by the Nats bullpen. One of them was Craig Counsell with 1 out, bases empty in the 7th. Ricky Weeks homered. The other one was a runner at first, 2 outs in the 8th to Brandon Boggs. And that one was by Henry Rodriguez, and that one proved to be fatal. Guys who don't hit the ball out of the park that you can challenge, and it really hurts when you walk them. And Marquis gone 2-0 on Craig, hitting .220. They've seen each other 34 times. That looked like a changeup right to Desmond, out number 2. Tires, parts, and full service as we check our Pep Boys game flow. Pep Boys does everything for less right now. Buy 3, get the 4th tire free at 800 Pep Boys today. Zack Greinke, as a career hitter, is 4 for 29, and he hit a homer back in 05 at Arizona against Russ Ortiz in interleague play. For the Brewers, he's 1 for 5 with a sacrifice. Hits it sharply to Hopper Desmond. Sounded good off the bat. And a good looking inning now for Jason Marquis. The quick 1-2-3 against the bottom he needed. Hairston, Marquis, and Bernadina coming up. Eight, 9, and 1 for the Nats. Debbie Taylor has our AFCEA sideline report. Visit AFCEA.org, the association for IT pros.
Well, as we saw last inning, the run support for Jason Marquis is pretty good, almost 7 runs a game, and he'll take it.
It's battling, it's falling on the day I pitch, and sometimes I've been on the opposite end of the stick, where the day you pitch you're not getting much. So I'll take it as it comes. It doesn't last all year, so you got to make the most of every opportunity.
Jason, too, likes to help himself from an offensive standpoint. He told me that he loves to hit, he loves to listen to the hitters, and he loves to talk hitting with his teammates. Bob?
Well, he's batting .333 this year, 7 hits, 3 RBIs. Top of the 3rd inning, Hairston, Marquis, and Bernadina.
He also likes to bust the hitters' chops when they come back to the dugout on days he's not pitching. He told me he's not afraid to get on guys in the dugout in a playful sort of way. If guys have bad at-bats, he's over there cracking up.
And I think they respect that because he knows what he's talking about.
He does. He backs it up. He walks the talk.
Jerry Hairston Jr., 3 for 8 with an RBI here in Milwaukee. Batting .328 over his last 16 games. He has 3 career hits in 4 at-bats against Zack Greinke. That's a good breaking ball, and Jerry just rides it into right center. That's what happens when you don't try to pull that pitch. Really good job of hitting, and the Nationals have their first base hit. Always love to get a hit at this stage of the order, and Jim Riggleman can choose from a couple of things with a hitter like Marquis coming in.
And Jerry Hairston bummed that his Bulls lost last night, so that'll make him feel better. A little base hit his first time up.
Yeah, it's looking like Heat Mavericks, right?
Yep.
Marquis, that's a tough breaking ball to bunt. Some late downward movement to it. Jason has 1 sacrifice this year because he's not called upon to sacrifice as much as the other pitchers. Jim Riggleman likes when he can let this guy swing away in certain situations. And because he's had good run support, often he's been ahead in the game when he's been up there with the bat. Strike 2. Side door breaking ball.
This might be one The Brewers want to check to see if Marquis is going to bunt with 2 strikes. How do you do that? Throw over to first base. Watch the hitter. See if he moves his hands. See if he flinches. You can set your defense accordingly. Let's see if Greinke throws over to first.
Homeward, and a swing and a miss for his 4th strikeout. Top of the order, Bernadina. Friday night is Frosty Mug Night, presented by Miller Lite at the ballpark. Padres in town. First 10,000 fans 21 and older receive a Frosty mug. Tickets starting at $10. Nationals.com/tickets. John Lannon, Clayton Richard, lefties on the mound for the start of the homestand Friday night. Here's Roger Bernadina. Greinke disposed of him on 2 fastballs for called strikes and then put a breaking ball in the dirt that Roger could not reach.
And Doug Yulacki, our director, is going to be excited that Clayton Richard is on the mound. He played quarterback at the University of Michigan. A former University of Michigan quarterback on the mound for the Padres.
Nice. Well, it'll be good to be back at the big house in Washington on Friday night. Not as big as the one in Ann Arbor. And it's 2-0 now. So this time Bernadina has the count in his favor. Bernadina on a 2-0 pitch pops it up and heading over the screen right below us. Nice crowd on hand today. Looks like between 25 and 30,000 today on a miserable day in Wisconsin. 46 degrees and heavy rain outside.
I used to win bets like that all the time in the minor leagues. I go up to a new guy that just got called up, maybe to AA. The ballpark seats 10,000. I said, I'll bet you $100 we get between 25 and 30,000 tonight. He'd say, what are you talking about? 25 people and 30,000 people, I win. Won every single time.
Well, you were pretty close last night. You did the attendance guess correctly. 24-7-2-2 as they flashed 4 possibilities on the board. Bernadina fouls one off to the left side. Counts back even now, 2-2.
And Greinke must have a little deception working. You look at the radar gun, it says 92, 93, but you're seeing a lot of the Nationals hitters in hitting counts late on the fastball. That tells me guys got late life, a little bit of deception. You see Bernadina right now. He hasn't had any trouble handling the heater. 2-0 foul ball, 2-1 foul ball. Now he's got to deal with that nasty slider that Greinke goes to when he wants to put somebody away.
Yeah, remember when he muscled up against Michael Morse. Fastball right to the pitcher's glove. Bernadina beats it out. One of the few players in the league who could beat out a smash like that. And the Nats are still alive.
And just got in on Roger a little bit. You look at the fastball. Nice play by Zack Greinke. Good fielding position. If he throws that ball a hair harder to Craig Counsell, got himself a double play. Kind of babied the ball to second base. A lot of times pitchers don't feel comfortable throwing to a target that's not there. You got to throw to the base, hope the shortstop gets there on time. So Greinke lobbed it in there to second base. Might have cost him a double play.
Yeah, you make one little glitch and Bernadina's 90 feet safe. We'll see if the Nats decide to turn him loose with 2 outs here. Trying to generate something. One of those situations, even if he got thrown out, you'd have Desmond leading off next inning. Worth on deck. Top 3. Nats down 2-0. Ian Desmond trying to pull that ball, not getting to it. Flied to left first time. And that's up and in. Foul tips off his bat. Zack Greinke, 5 strikeouts in 3 innings and a 2-0 lead. After 2.5, Zack Greinke, 3 innings on only 41 pitches. That's pretty good because of 5 strikeouts. Ryan Braun trying to start another hitting streak, and then Prince Fielder takes the league lead in RBIs with a double.
Hey, look at the pitch. Just a slider out over the plate. Little extension there from Prince Fielder. The Nats are lucky that ball stayed in the ballpark. That's what these guys do. They're going up there. They're hunting pitches out over the plate, and they are not going to get cheated.
5th best hitting team in the league in batting average and runs. 2nd best in home runs with 53. Cincinnati's hit 55. Top of the order, Ricky Weeks bounced out to 3rd to start the ball game for Milwaukee. And he takes one inside.
You know, I think if I made a comeback, I would stand like Ricky Weeks in the box. That's just a cool stance. That's just one if you're playing wiffle ball in your backyard, you're saying, I'm Ricky Weeks. That just looks comfy. That looks hitterish.
Good breaking ball by Marquis. Ricky Weeks in this series, 2 for 7 with a huge home run last night. But he has scored 5 runs, which ultimately is a leadoff man's job. He lashes that one into the left field corner. Brewers have their leadoff man aboard for the first time today. And then there's Corey Hart.
See where the location is on all these pitches. That was down and away. He pulled it to center field. This ball was right out over the plate as well. Pulled that one to left field. You got a big guy with long levers. You don't want him getting extension. You want to tie him up with fastballs in. Corey Hart's been absolutely locked in. Every mistake the Nats pitchers have made, they've had to pay in this series.
Walked and scored first time up. Marquis slips one by him low in the zone. Talked to Roger Bernadina during batting practice down around the cage in his vantage point center field. He said, I can't believe how far this guy hits the ball, and from where I am out there, it doesn't even look like he swings that hard. He is a big man at 6'6" who generates lots of bat speed in a very short period of time. Just like that. And he hit one right to Roger. He'll grab it and throw to third. Good throw, but Weeks is too fast, and he's there with 1 out.
I mean, that's how Corey Hart's outs have been this whole series. Loud outs. The Nats are able to keep him in the ballpark. He's been lining out to everybody. So nice job at advancing the runner with nobody out, getting him to third with 1 out. Another good at-bat from Corey Hart.
Seems like every out he's made has been stung. 2 line drives, 2 infielders last night. Hard ground ball to third base Monday night. He is locked and loaded. And here's Ryan Braun. That's a great sinker at the knees for a strike.
And that's the call he didn't get to Ryan Braun the first time up. He threw one in there. Braun took it, then he ended up grounding the ball between short and third for a base hit.
Infield in, third inning in a 2-0 game. That's some respect the Nats are showing for Zack Greinke right now. That hard sinker under Braun's hands, ball one. Man, that's close. He's got to have some of these.
And just a little bit off the plate. He wants it.
As I mentioned the other night, our cameras here are offset probably 50 feet off center. He gets that one, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hey, you got a runner on third, less than 2 outs. You're trying to make the hitter hit the ball to the corners. You got a left-hander up there. You want him to hook it to first base. You got a right-hander up there. You're trying to get him to hit a ball to third base on the ground.
Six out of 12 times in situations like this, Braun has 37 RBIs. 103 last year, 114 the year before, and 106 before that. He drove in 97 back in 07 when he was the Rookie of the Year. How many rookies ever do that? Chopper to third, well foul. One of the things people forget about Ryan Braun when he was a rookie, started at third base, and they moved him to left field. He did not make a single error the first 4 months of his rookie year. So he's been a good presence for them on both sides of the ball. 3-2 with 1 out. Marquis takes a little bit off and misses. First and third, 1 out, and Prince Fielder coming in. That's Jason's second walk of the day.
I mean, these guys just keep coming at you. There's no let up in this offense, especially here in Milwaukee.
You're reading my mind. It's like facing the Phillies at Citizens Bank. It's like facing the Reds at the Great American Ballpark. And in their heyday, like facing Colorado at Coors Field. Constant pressure.
And coming in.
Slider, ball one. Brewers have scored 209 runs this year. Their only problem is they've given up 200. They don't have the differential you might expect. Miller Park as we hit the 1 o'clock hour here in the upper Midwest. Prince Fielder 2-run double off the wall right center first inning, a 2-0 lead. He has a chance to give Milwaukee more here in the third against Jason Marquis. Pudge was set up a little bit to the outside part. The ball came into his right. Still a strike though.
And check how far Pudge reaches for this pitch.
And to his credit, Adrian Johnson gave the pitcher the strike. Some umpires see you miss your spot and they don't give you the call. That's a chopper that hit Prince in the foot. So that'll be strike 2.
And that was a well-located pitch. You see it right here, hit his big toe. And that is a big toe. But he was going cutter in right there, hit his spot. I mean, you have to execute your game plan against these guys. If you leave one pitch out over the plate, they will make you pay. So good pitch by Jason Marquis. You got to repeat it.
So Braun and Field are both at 50% in this man at third, less than 2 outs category. Marquis misses outside. Count goes full. One of those situations where a pitcher cannot give in here. Better to face Casey McGee with the bases loaded than give Prince Fielder something he can hit a long way. Got to throw your pitch here and hope good things happen. Desmond, Pudge, Keo get together. Since the 9th of May, the Brewers are on a big-time roll, 12-3. Better than anybody in baseball. And a game and a half, actually 2.5 games better than the Giants, who've been hot. San Francisco's now 7 games over 500. They have a 3-game lead over the Rockies in the West. Right now, the Brewers are knocking on the door for second place in the Central, tied with the Reds. 3.5 back of St. Louis, and the Cardinals have won 4 in a row to go 30-20.
And what a difference it makes having Corey Hart back in the lineup for them.
Oh, yeah. Runner going off of first. Fly ball left center. Not very deep. Ricky Weeks is fast. That should be deep enough to score him, though. Nick's throw bounces late, and then the other runner advances, and it's 3-0 Milwaukee. I think you got to keep that throw a little lower, don't you, when you have very little shot at home plate?
Yeah, you got to fire it through the cutoff man's head. That allowed Ryan Braun to advance to second base. You see the pitch sequence right here to Prince Fielder. Pretty good job of trying to tie him up. You look at the game plan here. One pitch away just to show him. And go off speed 3-2, little 81-mile-an-hour slider, and Lance Nix just kind of gets underneath this ball a little bit too much. You saw Ryan Braun scramble back to first base. Why do you do that? You read the throw. He got back, tagged up. If you see the throw high, you advance. If you see the throw low, you take a couple hard steps and you have to go back to first base. And they're going to appeal it.
Yeah, that was Pudge asking for that. First base umpire Field and Colbreth said he was on the bag as the ball was caught. You might have also noticed from that replay, Jerry Hairston Jr. tried to salvage something out of a bad situation. He acted like he jumped up and caught the ball and made a throwing motion towards second base, just hoping to freeze the runner.
Yeah, good try, but Ryan Braun's reading the flight of the baseball. Jerry Hairston Jr. doesn't have a whole lot to do with it at that point. He saw the ball high out of Lance Nix's hands. You just keep advancing. It's a good play, good heads-up play. Ryan Braun's a complete baseball player.
Yes, he is. Casey McGee bounced out to third first time up with Fielder at second base. That was for the second out in the first. Now Braun at second with 2 outs here in the third. And Marquis gets a strike, counts even.
I mean, you really can't fault the aggressive throw from Lance Nix either. That's a guy that's standing out there in left field. Guess what? He's faced Zack Greinke today. He knows he's got good stuff, so he's thinking like Jim Riggleman. Brought his infield in. We can't allow any more runs today. Lance Nix thinking the same thing in left field. Can't allow any more runs. I'm going to try to throw him out.
Jason Marquis up to 55 pitches here with 2 outs in the third. And the 2-2 pitch. Out to Desmond. He'll plant and throw. And the Brewers will pick up a run in the third to lead 3-0. Jayson Werth leads off for the Nats. He's walked a couple of hits in this series, and he's been on base 2 other times. Washington down by 3, middle innings coming up.
Very nice little ride right there. That's what I say, the mascot, he jumps in there. Like, if he gets too much momentum going.
Seriously down, he'd fly out, but if he ever did, it'd be all she wrote.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a very good day for him.
Well, evidently Bernie knows what he was doing there. The Brewers have hit the second most home runs in the league. And we go to the top of the 4th on Wired Wednesday. Looks like Jordan Zimmerman wants a little airtime. The guy from Wisconsin, not always that shy, evidently. Werth, Nix, and Morse, top of the 4th. There's Bernie's dugout up there.
That's where I would live if I played for the Brewers. Seriously.
Just commute every day up there?
Yep. After the game, just roll up there, get a little flat screen, cooler full of beers, slide down to BP.
Nice. I think that'd be okay with everybody as long as you sent out your laundry every once in a while.
See, I'd put a disco ball up there, though, and have a few parties.
1-1 to Werth, top of the 4th. They have Bob Uecker's home run call up there. Get up, get up, get out of here, gone. Right above Bernie's dugout. Gone. That's a good word for this offense. The way the Brewers are pounding the ball these days. Mr. Baseball. Saw Bob Monday. I said, "You look like heck." He said, "Thank you." He is something. Werth walked first time. GREINKE throws him one in the zone, and that will drop into center field. And Jayson Werth is 3 for 9 in this series, and he's been on base 5 times. Let's have a look at our PNC minor league report. Solutions that help you achieve your financial goals. PNC for the achiever in you. Going to check in on Blake Kelso. He's a teammate of Bryce Harper's at Hagerstown. Look at him hitting .350 with a great on base percentage. 10 doubles, 24 RBIs, 10th rounder back in 2010. Blake Kelso.
I mean, it'd be cool to play with Bryce Harper. Imagine the exposure you get at any level, right? Everyone's going to come to see Bryce Harper play. And if you're on his team, guess what? You're going to get some exposure too. Scouts in the stands, media exposure.
Blake Kelso's from Austin, Texas, played at the University of Houston. Played there for 3 years and started 181 consecutive years. It's only Kelso's second year in professional baseball. He hit .309 for the infamous Vermont Lake Monsters last year. 61 games, his first summer away from home. Nice job. Lance Nix flied to center first time. He will get a piece of this one to right. It sends Hart back, and he cannot reach it. It bounces over the wall, which may not have cost the Nats a run because Worth was playing it safe between first and second. He really had to make sure that that 6'6" outfielder couldn't reach that ball. And the Nationals will have second and third, nobody out on a ball caught by Sean Burnett.
Well, it would have been interesting to see. Jason Worth got some giddy up. He can absolutely fly. So if this ball stays in the park, it would have been fun to see if Worth was going to score or not. But Lance Nix, I don't think he got all of that ball.
No.
He just muscled that ball in the gap. This goes to show you how strong that guy is standing on second base.
Well, who would you want at the plate more than Michael Morse right now? Struck out swinging against Greinke first time up. The Nats put hits together for the first time today. Breaking ball, and he punishes this one to left center. It leaves the ballpark, and we are tied. Michael Morse with his third homer of the series. 8 RBIs here in Milwaukee. 3-3 ball game.
Digging the home run trot, too. That's the way you get around the bases when you hit a laser beam into the opponent's bullpen. Michael Morse with some serious backspin. Check out this swing. Get on top of that. Get some extension. That ball's rising as it gets out of here. Stay hot, Michael Morse, and the dugout is pumped.
Michael now 5 homers and 19 RBIs on the year. Well, like we said last night, every pitcher has his nemesis. It's Morse against Narveson. He gets Greinke today, and every batter has his favorite ballpark.
And check out Michael Morse coming around first base. He doesn't give himself a high five. He just smokes himself on the helmet. Watch. Good job. Atta babe.
Right side, Espinosa with a ground ball to Ricky Weeks. And that's the first out here in the 4th inning. That's the 5th home run Zack Greinke has given up this year in 25 innings.
Oh, the swing is just so free and easy from Morse lately.
Look at that, a 500 hitter in this ballpark. Guys will tell you they see the ball well here. Despite the scoreboard up there in center field, it's high enough it doesn't bother you. There's a good batter's eye here. It's black, so the ball shows up really well. And then, of course, FP, you notice your first time here Monday how well it carries in here.
It does. It carries well, but for Michael Morse, just his approach. I mean, yeah, he's in a hitter's ballpark. He's probably feeling good about that, and he's had some success here. You just see the swings. They're free and easy. He's making good decisions at the plate. I think early in the season he was pressing. He came off that tremendous spring training. Then all of a sudden you look up and your average counts. It looked like he was pressing. Almost deciding he was going to swing before he saw the pitch. Making bad decisions. So now all of a sudden he's locked in. Seeing the ball big. Free and easy at the plate. It's nice to see.
Michael Morse. 26 career home runs now. 15 of them last year with the Nats, 3 the year before. On a pitch up, Pudge Rodriguez will foul it off to the right side. And the count's a ball and 2 strikes here in the 4th. As we mentioned earlier, Greinke was cruising. You know, a guy gets 5 strikeouts in the first 3 innings, he could have a real high pitch count, but he didn't. He was averaging just under 14 pitches per inning, with only 1 hit and a walk, and now the Nats get him 3 hitters in a row here in the 4th. And Pudge will lay off that slider that struck him out first time.
Well, you got a strike thrower out there. There's nothing to wait around for. I mean, you're not going to work a walk. Jason Worth did in the first inning, but he didn't walk anybody his last start. So when you have a guy around the plate, go up hacking with the game plan. And that's what the Nats are doing.
Yeah, he struck out 9, didn't walk anybody against a good hitting Colorado team. 2-2. In the dirt, and Pudge can't get it. That'll be strikeout number 6. Day off tomorrow. The Nats are back home on Friday. Here's our next 5. John Lannon, Clayton Richards, Saturday or Friday night. Saturday day, Jordan Zimmerman and Tim Stauffer. Sunday afternoon, Tom Gorzolani and Dustin Mosley, our friends from DC 50, will join us. And then the Phillies are in for Memorial Day, 1 o'clock game on Monday, night game Tuesday. Just so you can make your plans for next week, there's another day game on Wednesday before the Nationals fly out to Phoenix to start an 11-game road trip against the Diamondbacks, the Giants, and the Padres. 2 outs and Jerry Hairston now. Center cut fastball, he couldn't get to it. Hairston 4 for 5 career against GREINKE now. Look at that one. Big slow slider. And how about Michael Morse these days?
How about Michael Morse? Stay hot. A little ambush piece. First pitch fastball from ZACK GREINKE. His 3rd home run of the series, and as soon as he hit it, you knew it was gone. Tie score.
It's the Nats staging the comeback with the Michael Morse 3-run blast. Sunday, Padres in town, 1:35, and the first 10,000 kids 12 and under receive a kids bat and ball set presented by Masson. Tickets start at $10. Nationals.com/tickets. Come and join us for the weekend. Padres in, and then the Phillies. Jason Marquis trying to keep this thing reasonable after Michael Morse ties it up.
I mean, he's trying to catch Corey Hart in this series.
Who's the hottest hitting first baseman in baseball right now? Probably the 2 of them are in the same ballpark today. Here's Kotze, a notorious early count swinger who on the first pitch he saw flied out to center to end the first inning, just like he did last night. Mark Kotze 0 for 5 in this series. The catcher LUCROY and then Craig Counsell to follow here in the 4th. Well hit. Michael Morse battles it and gloves it cleanly. He was in position to knock that ball down if he couldn't glove it, and he played it perfectly. Big man handling himself well.
He's just a good athlete. I mean, he was a shortstop in the Mariners organization, so you know he can field a ground ball. But anytime you go over to first base, I think there's a big misunderstanding that you could just stick anybody over there.
Yeah.
A lot of intricacies with the position, a lot of tough angles to cover. Nice job right there of smothering that baseball, getting to your feet. Very athletic play by Michael Morse.
Good way to put it. He smothered it. Here's LUCROY, who struck out swinging. Marquis got a call on a low pitch early in that at bat, and then LUCROY struck out on a pitch in the dirt. And right now, to date, that's Jason's only strikeout of the day. That's fine. He's a pitch to contact guy who loves getting ground balls. He has 5 ground ball outs today. Let's see if Desmond can make it 6. A crow hop and an accurate throw, 2 down. And the base is empty for Counsell. Now, FP, I know you bristle at times when I talk about pitchers and they walk guys that don't have much power. I don't want you to think that I'm disrespecting players like this. I think my point is guys like Counsell and Brandon Boggs late in the ballgame, you got to make them earn their way on base, and the Nats didn't do that last night.
Well, I don't disagree with you there, but a lot of times you get frustrated because pitchers walk guys without power. Well, the guys without power are in the lineup because they know the strike zone, and their job is to get on base.
Well said.
That's how you stay in the big leagues if you don't have power. You've got to find a way to get on base. You know the strike zone so well. So it's not like they're trying to walk the guy or they're scared of him.
Right.
They know the guy's trying to get on, so maybe the pitcher's trying too hard to throw strikes. But the reason Craig Counsell's been around so long is because he knows the strike zone. He can play defense anywhere too, but big reason is he does a lot of things well offensively besides hit home runs.
Yeah, he's one of those box score guys, as we call him. 101 stolen bases coming into this year in his big league career. He'll lash one to right, but Worth happens to be right there. Points well taken on both sides, and a good discussion. We shall continue later. Milwaukee. Prince Fielder damaged first inning and a sac fly in the third. He's driven in all 3 for Milwaukee. Lance Nix continues to swing the bat well, and Michael Morse has driven in all of Washington's runs.
Is this Monday? No. Is this Tuesday? No. It's Wednesday. Michael Morse has homered in all 3 games of the series. A grand slam last night, a 3-run job today, and just put it on rewind. The guy's absolutely locked in, seeing the ball big and doing some serious damage here in Milwaukee.
Even his line drive homers have some hang time. There's Jason Marquis leading off the inning, struck out swinging after attempting a bunt in the third. That's a good eye. He sets up like a regulation hitter, bends his knees, gets a good long look at that pitch. GREINKE, by the way, 20-pitch 4th inning. His pitch count up to 61 with 7 strikeouts. And that'll be an easy fly ball to left for Ryan Braun. Mid-Atlantic Sports Report back on today, 5:30 to 6:30. Tom Davis and the rest of the panel will continue their coverage as we wrap up the series here in Milwaukee and all the other news from around baseball. Later on today, Mass and HT with Dave Johnson and Mel Antonin. Roger Bernadina is 0 for 2 and in this series just 2 for 12. One of the interesting things to watch now over the next week or so will be who gets playing time in the outfield. With Rick ANKIEL back, Bernadina's been the man there for 2.5 weeks without a day off. And you know Jim Riggleman wants to get Ankiel some action. He did play a bit in the outfield last night. But Lance Nix is swinging well, and nobody's going to replace the guy in right except on one day here and there.
Well, I was told by the manager that Roger Bernadina is the leadoff hitter.
So Ankiel may have to. Well, that doesn't mean Roger might not be in left on certain days. They consider him a superior left fielder.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where he's going to play, but the skipper told me Roger Bernadina is our leadoff hitter. That means you can put him in center, you can put him in left, give Jason Worth a day off and put him in right.
Yeah. Well, it's a good problem to have. A lot of guys. And that's a great swing by Roger, taking that solid lead to left with one out here in the fifth. His third hit of this series.
I got on top of this one. He's been a little loopy today in the fastball, but look at him go down through this ball. Create a little backspin.
I noticed Roger, during batting practice, took a lot of swings just like that. Rick Eckstein had him working on hitting the ball hard the other way. What's the key to that whole thing, FP?
Just staying on top of it with his speed. You don't want to fly out to left field. You want to keep the ball out of the air. I mean, if he makes the shortstop move 1 or 2 steps to his right on a ground ball, it's a base hit with his speed. So your game plan, if you're Bernadina, is, hey, I'm looking for something out over the plate that I can get on top of. A lot of times you try to hit a ground ball in that hole, you create some backspin, you get that low line drive like he just got right there. And every once in a while he can pull the baseball. We saw in Baltimore, he hit some balls to right field. But I think if you're Bernadina, day in and day out, you're looking for the ball out over the plate and you're thinking the other way.
Started, then stopped, and the pitch is inside to Desmond. And again, this will be interesting to watch because Jonathan Lucroy appears to be a good thrower of the ball down to second base, but he's thrown out only 2 batters, or rather 2 runners out of 23 this year. Nationals in this series 2 for 2 stealing, so not getting a whole lot of help from his guys 60 feet away. Bernadina's running. Pitch is low, throws a good one, safe again. That was the speed of Bernadina, as that throw was just a little bit to the shortstop side.
Well, he just outran a bad jump again. Roger Bernadina didn't get a good jump right here. A little bit of a delayed jump. And speed kills because he outran a bad jump and stole that base. A tough pitch to handle for Lucroy. Coming in hot at second base, that must be nice. Most guys, you get a bad jump, you're out at this level.
Yeah.
Roger Bernadina can run right through it.
How about him? He's 5 out of 6, and Desmond's 15 out of 16. Nationals steal their 40th base of the year. Good eye by Desmond on a fastball that just misses, and it's 3-0. Now you have a chance, with who's on base and who's coming up, to build yourself an inning here.
Nobody ever thinks about a 3-0 steal at third base. Sometimes you go sneak attack on this count.
Looks to me like Ricky Weeks is thinking about it because he's hanging close to Bernadina. That's a strike, low in the zone. Ian Desmond is at his best when he goes the other way. 1 out here in the inning. Tie game. Nats have out hit the Brewers 5-3. And Weeks continues to hang around. He has another purpose for that too, in case there's a one-hopper to an outfielder, trying to keep Bernadina from scoring, although he's about a 90% shot on something like that. Desmond takes one outside corner, 3-2.
Unless you're just looking middle away and that's the only zone you're hunting right there, that's a good take. You get ahead in the count 3-1, you have count leverage. You don't want to offer at a pitcher's pitch. You want to get your pitch in that count.
He gets the fastball down and takes it that way.
He's asking Adrian Johnson, was that a strike? A lot of times hitters will turn to the home plate umpire and say, good pitch.
With the runner going, Desmond fights it off. It's right in front of the plate. And then Bernadina rounds third. 1-3 on that putout. And a runner at third base, the lead run with 2 outs for Worth.
Were you thinking what I was thinking right here? Roger Bernadina stealing on the pitch. Zach Greinke does not check him. If he keeps rolling right there, he's got a chance to score. You just keep going right there and don't slow down, you're safe. I mean, it's aggressive baseball, but watch Greinke. The runner's going. He should have checked Roger Bernadina. He doesn't because he's in a hurry to get the out at first base. He had enough time to give a little glance to third base and still throw Ian Desmond out. I think that's what Bo Porter's telling him.
Now the Nats are aware that Greinke's had a good breaking ball to right-handed batters today. So you want Bernadina to get down that line in case one of these squirts away from the catcher. Worth has walked and singled up the middle. Jayson's been sitting on 18 RBIs for a while. He had 4 RBIs in the blowout win at Baltimore last Friday night.
And check out the average. It's climbing.
It is. It's a steady, step-by-step ladder. He's 9 for 29 on this trip. Hopes that one goes foul. Tie ball game, top of the 5th. The lead run 90 feet away, but it's 0-2. Greinke has struck out 7 today. And Worth will hack at a fastball and get a piece of it.
You see the 96 right there from Greinke. He's got it in his back pocket when he needs it. Got a runner on third base, runner in scoring position. Little reach back fastball.
That's making Greinke throw lots of pitches here. This will be number 80. And a breaking ball that Worth does a good job of going down to foul off. So they've made Greinke throw almost 40 pitches in the last 2 innings.
Jason Worth, nice job of fouling that pitch off. How many times have we seen him go extendo arms? Slider down and away almost in the left-handed batter's box, and he gets a piece of it. Not a lot of guys can reach that pitch.
Very close. We've seen him called out on that pitch this year. But Adrian Johnson wasn't giving Marquis that fastball earlier either.
Let's check it out. A little fastball in the inner half. You made a good point in the first game of the series, Bob. These cameras are way over in left center field, so it's tough to tell a lot of times if that's a ball or a strike.
That wasn't a strike, but he swung at it. 8 strikeouts for Greinke today. And the game remains tied here in the middle of the 5th inning, 3-3. The Nats, all three of their runs with still another homer here in Milwaukee after last night's grand slam. And I guess the story of this series, even though the Nats are in danger of being swept, the emergence of Morse now playing first base and getting lots of ABs.
Yeah, great job of picking up the team. Adam LaRoche is hurt. He's on the DL. Michael Morse taking advantage of opportunity, and that's what you do. You get your day in the sun, you got to shine. But Jason Marquis has been good so far. 6 ground ball outs today. He's kept the ball down in the strike zone. So after a rough outing last time and a shaky first inning, he's able to right the ship. And this was the big inning last time for Jason Marquis, the 5th inning. Let's see how he does today.
Pitcher leading off. Zach Greinke hit the ball hard to short first time, and he just hit his second major league homer. And the Brewers have a 4-3 lead.
I was here for batting practice yesterday. The Brewers pitchers were hitting, and I was marveling at the swing from Zach Greinke. He was hitting balls like that in batting practice. But look at the little leg kick, getting his foot up, hanging around home plate to see if it's fair or foul. But that ball was absolutely hammered from the opposing pitcher.
So on a day when the Nats have gotten through the first 4 innings with nobody homering, the Milwaukee pitcher gets them, and that's their 54th homer of the year. One behind Cincinnati for the league lead. So Greinke, second RBI on his second big league home run. Hard not to smile after something like that. Top of the order, Ricky Weeks. Jason Marquis gives up his 4th homer of the year in 62 innings.
Remember a couple games ago talking about Pete McCann, my old manager, the bench coach for the Philadelphia Phillies,
yep,
that fined pitchers for throwing first pitch fastballs to opposing pitchers? That's the reason why.
Now Weeks will pop it up off the end of the bat. Pudge is over. Morse if needed. 1 out. Let's have a look at our AT&T trivia fact. Corey Hart, 7th Brewer in team history to hit at least 4 homers over a 2-game span. We told you Monday night he was the 10th Brewer, and I think they've done it 12 times to hit 3 in 1 game. He also became the 4th hitter to hit 3 in 1 game against the Nationals, joining Chipper Jones, Johnny Gomes, and Andrew McCutchen. Hit the ball hard. Second time up today, and lined it right at Bernadina in center after walking and scoring in the first. Nice looking slider. 1-1. Some good sink action, running into the right-handed batter off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. On a pitch up, that'll be easy for Worth, and 2 outs in the inning. 4 homers over a 2-game span. That's our fact number 1.
What's our fact number 2, Bob?
Jeff Jenkins, the only guy to hit 5 over a 2-game span back in 01. Longtime outfielder here for the Brewers. Big, strong, left-handed batter.
Sacramento kid, hometown guy.
First pitch swing by Braun. Right field corner, and that is unreachable. And the ball will spin over the wall for a ground rule double. And Ryan Braun is on base for the 3rd time today. These Brewers are on the attack early in the count.
That ball just slicing all the way from Jason Worth. He couldn't catch up to it. Look at him getting inside of that baseball, creating a little side spin. If you watch the flight of the ball, it just kept tailing away from Worth. He couldn't catch up to this baseball. Good swing, well hit. And I got to walk Prince Fielder with first base open.
Have to. It'll be Marquis' third walk of the day. Second consecutive game Marquis has walked 3, although this one is intentional. He had never walked more than 2 in any start this year until Baltimore. Nats will take their chances with Casey McGee, who's hit the ball on the ground, pulled twice today, and is 3 for 11 in the series. Two on, 2 out. Casey McGee's driven in 21 runs this year. 0 for 2 today and 3 for 7 career against Marquis. Trying to get out of the way, and no swing, says Field and Culbreth on the appeal. Ron doubled with 2 outs. Prince Fielder walked intentionally. Marquis goes breaking ball and misses. Left-handed batter on deck if this inning continues. Marquis has retired Marcotte twice. He's swinging on 3-0. Picked by Hairston right to the bag. And the Nats are out of the jam. But Zack Greinke's second career homer puts Milwaukee on top. Knicks hot-hitting Michael Morse and Espinoza coming up.
Get out, ball!
Get over. There we go. Get out. Go. Get up. Yeah. That was hit pretty hard, huh?
Yeah, that was hit pretty hard.
Settle down in there, boys. Settle down.
Top of the 6th. Lance Nix, ground ball, right side. Ricky Weeks waits for Prince to turn around to receive the throw. 1 out. Now Michael Morse is next. An amazing series for Michael now. He's 5 out of 11 with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. Corey Hart has 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. So Michael Morse is the story here, although some guys did have to get on in front of him. Worth with the base hit, Nix the double. And that's when the Nats got 3 of their 5 hits in that 3-run 4th inning. No surprise that Michael's batting average is on the rise. He's up to 286 now. Coming into this season, he was a 291 hitter in parts of 6 years with Seattle and Washington. Seeing the ball pretty well right now, FP. He's not giving any strikes away for the most part.
Yeah, making good decisions. Seeing the ball big. He slowed his feet down a lot. His head staying still. He's staying on his backside nicely. Still having trouble at times laying off the curveball in the dirt.
How many right-handers will Jim Riggleman start him against? You got to ride him as long as he's hot, no matter who's pitching, right?
Oh, yeah. He's in there. Just put a 3 by his name. He didn't even have to look at the lineup card right now.
And by the way, Miller Park yields the 2nd most extra base hits per game of any ballpark in baseball. Right now, Chase Field in Arizona. Nats will be there next week, 7.12. Right behind Miller Park at 6.83. More than the Rangers ballpark, the Rogers Center in Toronto, or the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. This is an extra base hit haven.
A healthy 2-strike hack right there from Michael Morse. Now, sometimes when you're playing a team and you look over at other hitters, you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I'm going to start swinging like that. I see these guys all letting it fly every single hack. Why shouldn't I be doing that?
And a 2-2, nasty breaking ball gets him. And Zack Greinke has now struck out 9. MLB.tv, you can take the Nats everywhere you go. Live or on demand on your computer and your favorite device. Nationals.com for more details and to order. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. That matches Greinke's high in strikeouts for the year. 3rd time he's done it. Struck out 9 Padres May 9th. 9 Rockies 11 days later. By the way, his career high in strikeouts is 15 against Cleveland 2 years ago in August of 09. That was his all-star year when he went 16-8 with that very, very low 2.16 ERA that led the American League. This ball driven out to center by Danny Espinosa. Some good carry on it, but it's short of the track and grabbed by Kotsay. Nationals go quickly, and now 9 of the last 10 by Greinke.
It's been a tough road trip, and here he weighs in on the frustrating ways of this week.
Seems like we put a game or 2 or 3 together, and then we fall into a sluggish, sort of attitude on a whole. And it seems like we're one pitch, one inning, one swing away from breaking open. And we just gotta keep our nose to the grindstone and go after it, play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and just do a better job of executing.
And for himself personally, he said too that he wanted to be more consistent out there on the mound, Bob.
Well, 2 runs in the first, single tallies in the third and the fifth have him behind 4-3. Bottom of the 6th, he faces Marquis. 79 pitches, 43 strikes for Marquis, who's due to bat third in the 7th. So this could be it for him. Six and 9 career against Milwaukee, making his 19th start against the Brewers.
The scoreboard here at the ballpark has the count 4-0.
Come on, it's tough enough to pitch here. That one floats outside. Leadoff walk, 4th walk of the day. LUCROY will be next. RBI man today is Prince Fielder with a double, 2 runs in the first, sac fly in the third, and the other hit ZACK GREINKE leading off the 5th, first pitch, 2nd career home run. I mean, nothing cheap about it. Hit it into the second deck down the left field line. Here's LUCROY. A strikeout, a grounder to short. And he hit a double play ball to Desmond, turned by Espinosa. A nice rhythmic 6-4-3 for the Nats. Their 43rd double play of the year.
And nice pitch out over the plate, down in the strike zone. He and Desmond with a little in-between hop. Perfect feed to Danny Espinosa, who has tons of time to get the catcher LUCROY.
Bases empty, 2 outs for Craig Counsell. One other National League East team in action this afternoon. The Braves are in Pittsburgh. Eric Hinsky is homered, but so has Steve Pearce for the Pirates. They're 2-2 in the 8th inning. All the other Eastern clubs in action later. Phillies right now a game lead over the Marlins, 3 over the Braves, 6.5 over the Mets, and 8 over the Nats. Counsell 0 for 2, a pop up to short, and a line out to right. Todd Coffey getting ready, a former Brewer. On a pitch up, hit hard, right side, and look at Espinosa, man. He just charges everything and goes right after that baseball. Quick inning for Marquis, due to bat third in a 1-run game. 7th against GREINKE, who's thrown 91 pitches. Ryan Braun, another good day. Michael Morse, another big day. And GREINKE with 9 strikeouts, matching a season high, plus some bat action as well.
Yeah, been absolutely filthy. You look at the slider down the strike zone of Michael Morse. Another one down and away to Pudge. That's his out pitch with 2 strikes. He climbs the ladder to Ian Desmond, who couldn't hold up. He's been doing it on offense, too. Check out the leg kick, first pitch ambush. Watch where this one lands. Yeah, serious pop for a little guy. Zack GREINKE doing it all today against the Nats.
About to throw his 92nd pitch of the day. Just like last night, the Nationals offense is stalling in the middle of this game. Last night they had 3 hits and no runs after the 4th inning. This ball hit to right by Pudge. I don't know if Corey Hart was battling some lights there. He made the last second adjustment to catch that ball.
Jason Worth did the same thing on a similar ball hit to him. Probably a bank of lights over the third base dugout they have to deal with.
Lights are pretty high here up above those huge picture windows.
We look into those, the ball gets caught in the middle of them. You see purple for about 2 hitters.
Yeah. On sunny days, left field is a really tough field here late in the day when the sun's coming in those first base windows. So here's Hairston, who's 1 for 2 today. GREINKE's on cruise control. He's retired 10 of the last 11 Nats. And it looks like Jason Marquis, after 87 pitches and an 8-pitch 6th inning, is done with ANKIEL on deck. Hairston with a fly ball to right. Corey Hart coming in. 2 outs. Hope you're having a good afternoon back in Natstown. 3 o'clock back in our nation's capital. Getaway day here. Nationals will be home tonight. A day off tomorrow, and then a 6-game homestand. Padres 3, Phillies 3. Right now here in Milwaukee, it's 4-3 Brewers. 2 outs, top of the 7th. And Rick ANKIEL coming in.
Now, we've been on the road so long, my dog might attack me tonight when I get to my apartment.
Who's the intruder? ANKIEL 0 for 2 tonight in his return, and batting .217 on the year. I just worry after being gone so long, somebody's going to be in my parking space. Parking is a little cheaper out here than it is over there.
You betcha.
1-1 to ANKIEL. Nasty breaking ball, and GREINKE still throwing the ball with lots of stuff. Trying to strike out possibly 10 in a ball game for the first time this year. He's working on a quick inning. Only 6 pitches so far to get 2 outs and 2 strikes. Nationals have lost 4 straight and trying not to come home, 7 games under 500. That's a good take by ANKIEL on a breaking ball low. So what does GREINKE have in store with a full count and pitch number 100? He throws a breaking ball right down near ANKIEL's ankle. 10 strikeouts on the day. 7th inning stretch time in Milwaukee with the Brewers on top by 1. Don Masson, brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. Some Brewer logos on those bats, good looking items. You could have them custom made right here at the ballpark. This one going bottom 7 today in baseball history. Brought to you by Verizon Fios, a network ahead. To learn more, visit verizon.com/getFios. Rookie Willie Mays makes his major league debut at Shibe Park, later known as Connie Mack Stadium in Philadelphia, May 25th, 1951.
Didn't get a hit until his 13th at bat. Oh, for his first 12.
All right, what's better, Bernadina's catch or this one?
I would say that one I've seen a little bit more and maybe meant a little bit more, but from a difficulty standpoint.
Well, and that one was in a World Series, too.
That's why I meant it meant a little bit more.
Yep.
'13th at bat. Hit a home run over the left field fence.
And then what, about 659 more? Cole Kimball takes over for the Nats, bottom of the 7th. Zach Greinke still in the ball game. Don't groove a first pitch fastball.
A fastball curve split from Kimball. Fastball running up there about 94 miles an hour. He's got the good split for his out pitch. He was fighting the elevated fastball his last outing in Baltimore.
First pitch breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, there's going to be no ambush this at bat from Zach Greinke. And I like that. I think more pitchers should throw opposing pitchers first pitch off speed.
Oh, and that fastball really gets slammed off of Pudge's mask. Been a tough year for catchers. Pudge has taken his share. And I know that young Mr. Posey out in San Francisco has been battered this year.
That's a direct hit.
I think I read where Buster's thinking about getting rid of the hockey mask and going back to the more traditional mask like Pudge is wearing.
Yeah, it will work for Pudge, right? He hasn't switched over to the hockey mask. He's still going with the Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th piece, and it's working. I mean, that's a direct hit. And I don't know the difference between the masks. I don't know which one's safer, but, you know, Pudge could make a good argument that he's had a long career with the same mask and no concussions.
Greinke down on strikes. 7th inning underway. Bottom of the 7th, top of the order coming up. Another reminder about Friday night Frosty Mug Night. It's brought to you by Milwaukee-based Miller Lite. First 10,000 fans 21 and older receive a Frosty mug. There are tickets starting at $10 for Friday night's game against San Diego. Nationals.com/tickets. A lot of things going on at the ballpark. Don't forget about our Family Fun Pack days, Saturday and Sunday. Miller Lite Party Night, Friday and Saturday.
So are they taking all the mugs out of the refrigerator so they're frosty when they hand them to you?
As soon as they take them out, you're going to get one.
That is cool.
Yep. You may want to bring your batting gloves to the game to hold on to those things. Ricky Weeks 1 for 3 with a double. Two 2-0 to Bernadina, who's 1 for 3 today. Kimball's got a good fastball today. Evidently off the plate inside, 3-0.
Inner third to right-handers has been closed all day long.
That's right. And it's interesting because that's where Adrian Johnson sets up. Many times umpires will favor the side of the catcher's shoulder they're on, and he's on Pudge's left shoulder. But that strike, as you say, not today. Ricky Weeks 1 for 3 today and 3 for 9 in the series. But in these 3 games, he has scored 6 runs. He's been hit by a pitch, walked a couple of times, getting on base. Man. And Kimball's really upset. Turns his back to the battery, kicked at the dirt.
Well, umpires don't like it when rookies do that, I'll tell you that. His strike zone is going to get smaller. I understand the frustration from Cole Kimball, but as a rookie, you cannot turn your back on a major league umpire that's been around the block. Your strike zone will get smaller and smaller and smaller. And that was a big-time show-up, and those guys don't like to be shown up.
Adrian Johnson not having a real good series at first base or home plate. That one is low to Corey Hart, who is 0 for 2 with 2 line drives and a walk today. He's 5 out of 10 in the series, and the 5 times the Nats got him out, he's hit the ball hard every time.
And the worst part about that from Kimball is there's 3 other guys looking at him. You don't want to get that reputation around the league as a young guy that's going to show up umpires. They all talk on the telephone. They know, you know, and we like Cole Kimball because he shows his emotion. He wears it on his sleeve. You always know how he's thinking out there. But as a young player in the major leagues, that's a big no-no.
Now breaking balls to that side of the plate have been called. And that was a front door breaking ball, 1-1. Sean Burnett is up. Sean has pitched a scoreless inning and a third in this series. And that's 2-1. Game flow today. Things are moving along because of the pitchers, despite some runs. Our Delta game flow, and Delta Airlines says keep climbing.
Keep climbing to D.C. Take us home.
It'll be a little bumpy on takeoff today. Hart is swinging a foul tip, and the count's even 2-2. Got him in the dirt. Hart looks out at Kimball after that as if to say, what was that? And I think the answer is a pretty good splitter.
That's the first time all series he hasn't put a ball in play or barreled up a baseball. Look at the split right here. Fastball action, go to swing, disappear. Thanks for coming.
2 outs now, and Ryan Braun coming up. Braun a perfect day with a base hit, a walk, and a double in this series. He's 4 for 9. Got thrown out last night, interrupting his hitting streak. That ball gets away from Pudge, and down to second base is Ricky Weeks. You know, we talked about Ricky Weeks, not that many stolen base attempts. Maybe not that much of a reason to run with guys like this behind him in the batting order. They can drive you in from first base.
Yeah, you play in a hitter's ballpark.
Don't want to run yourself out of any innings here, do you?
No, you're in scoring position in the on-deck circle.
And of course, he has Braun 2 spots behind him, Fielder 3 spots behind him. You get that leadoff guy on base, you want to make sure Prince Fielder bats in that inning. In this case, he got on with 1 out. Kimball throws a fastball inner half. This is the first time the Brewers have seen this young right-hander.
That's a big 90-foot mistake on that curveball in the dirt. You're talking about a 1-run baseball game in the bottom of the 7th, and now here comes the meat of the order. A runner in scoring position for free. Now you got to make some pitches.
That one to the outer half of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-run game, 7th inning. Runner at second, 2 outs. He changed up a little bit. Might have been a splitter that didn't drop a whole lot. Veering in on the right-handed batter. And now the count's 2-2. They have 3-2 on the scoreboard here. Evidently, they didn't believe that strike 2 call. But we've got it 2-2 to Braun.
Apparently, the keg is flowing somewhere in the press box because they've had the count at 4-0, 3-2.
Well,
when it's 2-2,
there's something wrong here. It's 2-2 because the pitch of contention was the 1-1 pitch that Kimball got a strike call on, and I think Tim Welke is going to correct Adrian Johnson here. What they did was on the scoreboard when it was 1-2, they put 2-1. Then there was a foul ball, and then there was a pitch that missed. So as far as we know, it's 2-2, not 3-2. And I think Adrian Johnson just told Kimball 2-2. We'll see what fingers he raises up after he gets his masks on. Umpires keep their clickers there. But I think Tim Welke, the crew chief, corrected it.
This is usually when you go over to the team mom, right?
Now,
Who's keeping score and see if she's got it right.
Yeah. Now he just said 3-2, and Jim Riggleman's like, okay, where was that third pitch of the at bat? That's a big difference right now against Ryan Braun, 2-2, 3-2.
It's a big difference as a hitter. You got first base open right here with Prince Fielder on deck. It's all the difference in the world. The guys in the truck are telling us they have 2-2, and they've looked at it.
Let's look at the 1-1 pitch. What does he call? He calls strike 2. Since then, there's been 1 foul ball and 1 ball. So this count is wrong. Adrian Johnson clearly called that strike 2. And I guess we'll have to go along with the umpires now. They say it's 3-2. It's 3-2. Because I noticed the scoreboard after that pitch. They put 2-1 on the board when we had it 1-2.
Well, regardless, you got to get him out.
Yep. That ball driven to right, slicing down the line and foul before it gets into that cozy corner down there. I'll tell you, Ryan Braun, he wears out that side of the ballpark. Doubled down there today. He doubled down there in the 5th inning on Monday before pulling one down the left field line in the 8th inning. So this guy, you talk about guys that use the whole field. Sometimes you talk about guys gap to gap. This guy's line to line.
I mean, he's got a great approach. No real holes in his swing.
Breaking ball driven well foul.
So MLB.com has first pitch ball, second pitch ball, third pitch called strike, fourth pitch foul, fifth pitch ball, foul, foul, foul.
So evidently one of the first 2 pitches. And now he walks it. 2 on, 2 out. And Prince Fielder coming in. And Jim Riggleman looks like he's going to counter with Sean Burnett. So Cole Kimball has some control issues again. He strikes out 2, but he walks 2. And Riggleman will have to go with the left-hander, Sean Burnett, against one of the premier left-handed power hitters, Fielder. strike. It was 1-0 when he missed on a breaking ball. Watch Adrian Johnson here. This is the second pitch. Pretty good pitch. He stands up. His left arm comes out. We thought it was his right arm to call it strike one, but it was 2-0. And I think everybody was confused. Everybody thought it was 1-1 and then 1-2, but it was 2-0 and then 2-1. And Kimball then goes on to walk Ryan Braun. And Cole Kimball now in 5 1/3 innings has struck out 6 and walked 6, FP.
I think Adrian Johnson was confused. I mean, he stood up to make the strike call. And usually you'll see the left hand presented to the first base umpire for a check swing. Did he go? There was no offer at the baseball. There was no reason to check.
It was confusing. I think Tim Wilkie was thinking along our lines. The crew chief out at second. 2 on, 2 out for Fielder. That is a strike. Pudge was set up away. Burnett got the front door. Prince today a double for 2 runs, a sac fly, and an intentional walk. Nats trying to stay within 1 here with 2 innings to go. Out to left. Hard hit. Nix has a shot. Throw is way behind the runner. And the Brewers lead 5-3. Great at bat by Prince Fielder, taking that ball the other way and hard.
I mean, it was all set up by the 90-foot mistake from Cole Kimball on the curveball in the dirt that allowed Weeks to get to second base. Now you get a pitch around Braun. Fielder comes up. You bring in the lefty. Good throw right here. Gets him. Lance Nix nowhere near. And Jim Riggleman back out to the mound to make another change. You talk about a runner on second base, on first base with 2 outs versus a runner on second base with 2 outs. It's all because of the curveball in the dirt. They got away from Pudge.
Nationals,
not happy, nobody happy.
Nats will have to employ their 3rd pitcher, and listen to the Milwaukee fans for Todd Coffey. He used to pitch here, and they like this routine. They're timing him on the scoreboard. He makes it to the mound, 13.45. With Hell's Bells and all the music and all the sound effects. This guy running in for the bullpen, Todd Coffey. Now that's excitement.
I remember the first time I ran out, I got a little bit of a cheer, and then the fans really latched on really quick to it, and they enjoyed the way that they got out there and gave it everything I got, and it just stuck.
He first did it in Cincinnati. It really caught on here in Milwaukee. In fact, they had a coffee timer on him on the scoreboard as he came in, and when he came to a halt, it sat at 13.45 seconds. Nicely done.
Well, he'd have definitely won the sausage race today. There's no doubt about that.
Here's Casey McGee 0 for 3 with 3 grounders. Todd's got that good slider going these days. ERA just over 2. Coffey pitched in 78 and 69 games for the Brewers the last 2 years. So 147 ball games here in Milwaukee. 2-0 count. That one veers up and in, ball 3. McGee has swung on 1 3-0 count today. That was his last time up, with Braun and Fielder aboard back in the 5th, and he hit a hot shot to Hairston. Right now it's Braun at second, Fielder at first again. Evidently on 3-0, that pitch is a strike.
You could almost hear McGee saying inside, inside right there to Adrian Johnson as he goes back to the box.
Yeah, it's been inside all day, hasn't it? There's that great slider. Tight late break. Counts full. Runners will be on the move.
You throw it 3-1, throw it 3-2.
Milwaukee leads by 2 here in the 7th. Braun and Fielder about to take off. And it's hit weakly up the middle. Barrel of the bat flying to the backstop. The Nats are out of the inning on a play by Desmond. Top of the 8th inning. Roger Bernadina will lead off. He has a base hit today, 3 in this series. Desmond and Worth to follow, and now the Nats are down by 2. Don Masson, brought to you by your local Ford dealers and by Sonic, America's drive-in. It's new, it's better. It's the new Sonic Good. Miller Park on a rainy day in Milwaukee, top of the 8th inning. And it'll be Bernadina, Desmond, and Worth. And when the Nats draw walks this year, and they've drawn 152 of them, $7,600 now has been donated by Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater D.C. They would encourage each of us to take a first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. 38-year-old right-hander LaTroy Hawkins makes his 12th appearance for Milwaukee. In 12 innings, this guy's given up 1 run on 11 hits with an 0.77 ERA. He was on the mound for Houston a couple of years ago when the Nationals had that bizarre suspended game. And Miguel Tejada threw away a double play ball. And in the playing time of about 7 minutes, the Nationals won that game and then played the nightcap in Houston. So he's had an interesting history with the Nats and for a lot of ball clubs. Broke in back in '95 with Minnesota. Stops with the Cubs, Giants, Orioles, Rockies, Yankees, Astros, and now Milwaukee for the second straight year.
Yeah, he'll go fastball, slider, curveball, change, and fastball average about 92 miles an hour.
Bernadina takes a strike, and it's 1-1, 8th inning underway. And a breaking ball bunted. Foul ball. Picked up by LUCROY right in the batter's box. And Bernadina will have to come back.
And check out the bunt attempt from Roger Bernadina. And just trying to kill it to third base. And he doesn't care where the third baseman's playing. It doesn't matter to him. And McGee could be 5 steps on the grass. If he can put it where he wants it to and kill it, just out of the reach of the dirt, it's a base hit every time. We've seen him do it. He does a nice job of deadening the baseball. So with 2 strikes, McGee still in on the grass. Take him with a chopper maybe.
Counts even 2-2. Soft breaking ball tapped to second. Weeks on the charge, and he can't handle it. And if you think speed doesn't bother infielders, there's a perfect illustration.
And that might be the break the Nats are looking for. Roger Bernadina putting in play with 2 strikes, putting pressure on the defense. Ricky Weeks with a little traveling right here. Can't get it out of his glove, can't make the exchange. Bernadina's safe. Now you got the tying run to the plate all of a sudden because of speed. You love the fact that with 2 strikes, he just put the ball in play on the ground and making something happen.
Next up is Desmond against Hawkins, who's had all kind of shoulder problems. Had surgery last year in August, only pitched 18 games for the Brewers. And he's not back too long now from his rehab. Still feeling his way. Desmond 0 for 3 today. And a fastball to the outside corner. You don't see too many teams throwing the ball inner half to Ian Desmond. They're all making him try to cover that outside corner.
I don't think with 6 outs left when you're down by 2 runs that Roger Bernadina's going to be thinking about stealing second base. Although we've said that before, and guys have ran. The Nationals are very aggressive in these situations. But you know, with 2, 3, 4 coming up, and your number 5 hitter who's absolutely locked in, I'd be surprised if he goes.
That's strike 2 on the foul ball. Get MASN Mobile Live, exclusive Nats coverage sent right to your mobile phone. You can text Nationals to 29292. Message and data rates may apply. Top of the 8th inning here in Milwaukee. 5-3 Brewers. Nats haven't had a hit since the 5th inning. Bernadina aboard with an error by Ricky Weeks to start this frame. GREINKE done after 100 in pitches, 65 strikes. It was interesting. They let him bat in the 7th, and maybe we thought they were bringing him back out. But that inning took a long time, so maybe they just shut him down after that long layoff.
Oh, remember,
wow, how close was that?
Remember, it's only his 5th start of the year, so he's probably still trying to build up.
And he hadn't been to 100 pitches yet this year.
Check out this pitch to Ian Desmond, the 1-2 pitch.
Yep. That could have been called strike 3. Nats get a break. Another taken strikeout. The Nationals have struck out 11 times today, and they're 2 away from 400. Only one other team in the league has that many.
I mean, you just can't take 2 pitches in a row that close. If you get a break on one, you got to tell yourself, I caught a break right there. I got to be aggressive. You take a borderline pitch, you can't take 1 and get a break. You can't take 2. Just not going to happen.
Teams that are last in the league in hitting or second from last should not be also second from first in strikeouts. Nats have not been scratching their way. Here's Worth. Came into this game, did the Nationals, with 387 strikeouts. San Diego 406. 2 ball clubs that you would think would be really intent on putting the bat on the ball. Cameron Lowe is out there. Counts even 1-1. Worth a walk, a single, and a strikeout today. And if the Nationals do not score here, they know who they'll see in the 9th inning. Today's copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, in the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. 1 on, 1 out, top of the 8th. Somebody has to step up and get a big hit for the Nationals here. 2 hits after the 5th inning last night. Nothing so far after the 5th inning today. Worth will drop one into right center. Bernadina off to the races. Heading for third, he was going to stop. Then he's obstructed by the shortstop, Counsell, and he would have ended up at third base anyway. That was an interesting base running play, and the Nats will have first and third, 1 out.
And the Nationals have been very aggressive as any team in baseball, going first to third this year. And Roger Bernadina shut it down. Corey Hart bobbles it. He sees him bobble it. All of a sudden, Craig Counsell tries to take the charge.
Well, he did go to Notre Dame, you know. So the tying runs on base, a gift run at third, and Lance Nix. Keep an eye on early count action here. He's doubled in 3 trips today. And he takes that breaking ball outside.
Well, wouldn't you like to see Lance Nix just get all at one?
And by the way, the Brewers have no left-handers in their bullpen for situations late game like this. 7 right-handers. Nix will hit one out to left. He's got some carry to it. It takes Braun to the edge of the track. Bernadina scores easily. Worth back to first. It's now a 5-4 game. So the Nats cash in the unearned run because of the error.
Nice piece of hitting by Lance Nix. Probably not what he was looking for, but the Nats will take it closer. Now 1 run down. I guess the question you got to ask, is Jayson Werth thinking about stealing, or do you sting on first and let the hottest hitter in baseball swing the bat?
Looks like Ron Renicky has a double switch in mind here.
I think you stay at first and let Michael Morse swing.
Their last man to bat was Casey McGee. I see Yuniesky Betancourt with a glove. Nats back to within 1. Be batting representing the lead run. Nats are down by just one. Let's have a look at our Ford drive of the game.
Yeah, back to the fourth inning. Michael Morse just gets a pitch out over the plate, a first pitch hanger. So Worth singled, Nick's doubled. Michael Morse hit one in the bullpen, a 3-run jack, his third of the series. He's absolutely locked in. It was really the only mistake that Zack Greinke made all day long.
Walked one guy, that was way back in the first, struck out 10. And Michael Morse will be facing a new pitcher. The Brewers have adjusted their defense here on a double switch. Casey McGee out of the ball game, so Yuniesky Betancourt will bat ninth and play shortstop. That'll move Craig Counsell over to third. And the new pitcher will be 29-year-old Cameron Lowe, making his 27th appearance. That's by a pretty good margin, the most on their staff.
Fastball, slider, curveball, change. The last three I said forget about him. Throws his fastball 93% of the time. He'll run it up there between 92 and 95 miles an hour. A lot of late sink on it. Obviously, he loves his fastball.
That's some late sink. Tied for the National League lead in appearances with 26 coming in. With the runner on the move, it's fouled off.
Oh, he had that bag stolen. You can't take another strike if you're Michael Morse. You have to swing right there. Generally speaking, you don't want guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark taking pitches for runners. But Jason Worth had a great jump, and that bag was absolutely stolen.
Slider away, and the Nationals strike out for the 12th time today. Into the bottom of the 8th, they pick up an unearned run. It's now a 5-4 game. Up, Todd Coffey still on the mound. Nationals after this road trip, which right now stands at 1-6, will have a day off tomorrow. It'll be Clayton Richard Friday night at Nationals Park, and he's lost 5 of his last 6 starts. For the Nats, John Lannon, 5 career starts against San Diego, pretty good ERA of 2.73. John will be trying to turn around his 2-5 season. We'll start you off with Nats Extra 6:30 Friday night. Todd Coffey against Mark Kotsay, bottom of the 8th inning. First pitch ground ball. That guy sure likes to swing early. And Espinosa guns him out.
Time for our Home Depot doing more on defense. Let's go back to the double play in the 6th inning. A little ground ball to Ian Desmond. Gets a little in-between hop. Check out the feed to Danny Espinosa. Perfect feed. Lots of time. Good, strong throw from the second baseman. More saving, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot, and that's the power of a double play.
Nats have turned 43 of those this year. Jonathan Lucroy is next. By the way, great crowd here today. On a Wednesday afternoon when it's miserable outside, 34,419 showing up here. You know, Milwaukee's interesting. They've only had 2 winning seasons since 1992. That was in 08 when they won 90 games, and in 07 when they won 83. But these folks are very loyal, and they've got an exciting ball club to come out and watch. They won 77 games, lost 85 last year, and finished 14 games behind Cincinnati. You look at these crowds, you would think they're the defending division champion or a wild card.
Well, they're excited. They just swept the Brewers. They're on the verge of sweeping the Nationals. And the way they came back last night, I was walking to the bus and I heard some fans talking, we're a team of destiny. I said, well, it might be a little early for that, but they're excited about their ball club.
And they are exciting to watch. Fastball hit off to the right side.
Well, Rockies came in here struggling a little bit, but they took advantage. And Sean Markham's been pitching well. They're swinging the bats all of a sudden. When we came in here, we were shocked to hear, hey, they're not swinging the bats.
I'm like, come on. You're putting me on, right?
I said, we're doing it with pitching and we're doing it with defense.
Yeah. I'm not going to name the guy who said that, Bill Schroeder. Very, very good TV analyst for the Brewers. Great guy. That's a tough backhand for Hairston. Stays with it. Michael Morse trying to stay on the bag, and Lucroy will beat it out. Not an easy play at the hot corner.
And Hairston gets a little in-between hop right there. Tries to give with it. It hit him in the heel of his glove. Anytime you get hit that high up in your glove, the ball's not going to stick. And check out the play at first. That was closer than I thought. Hairston with the high throw. Good job of barehanding. You kids at home, anytime you boot a ball, pick it up with your bare hand and not your glove. Let's see the call at first. Maybe Michael Morse's foot was in the air.
No ruling yet. Here's Counsell. And that'll be a strike from Coffey. Oh, that's a tough error right there. They don't give the hometown guy a base hit, and they give Jerry Hairston an error on that play. You're going backhand on a smash to your right. That one could get changed. I think somebody from the Brewers will be lobbying for a base hit.
Can't be the guy on first base right now.
Or anybody who's ever put a glove on out there. Counsell 0 for 3.
Not an easy play, but we've seen Jerry Hairston make that play many times. Sure, if you run down there and ask him, he'll say he should have made it.
Between now and Friday, stop by Nationals.com. Come out and join us at the ballpark. 3 games in the San Diego series. Hey, if you love day baseball, this homestands for you. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, all day games. Coffey missing low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a 1-2 pitch pulled right into the Milwaukee dugout. And by the way, their bullpen is quiet. Evidently, John Exford not available today. And they appear to be putting this into the hand of Cameron Lowe. He got 1 out on the strikeout in the 8th. Espinoza, Pudge, and Hairston are the due-ups in the 9th, and there are 2 left-handed bats available in Cora and Stairs. That's a fastball up 2-2.
Remember, Axford had the eventful save last night. Bases loaded. Michael Morse at the plate. The Nats got the hitter they wanted up. So maybe last night was so stressful for him, they're going to give him the day off. They've been using him a lot lately.
A good slider, tight one. Getting the foul tip strikeout for Coffey. And he'll face Yuniesky Betancourt now with 2 outs. Betancourt batting ninth, came in on the double switch. Good pitch. Betancourt batting at .227. That pitch hanging up. That's into the left field corner. LUCROY heading for third. They're going to send the runner. There's a play at home. Desmond's throw. No! Too high. And Milwaukee leads 6-4. Aggressive 2-out third base coaching by Ed Cedar. And he told the catcher to keep on going.
I mean, you judge a play by where the ball is caught and where the runner is. And when he and Desmond got that baseball, LUCROY is about 2 steps around third base, and I thought he is out by a mile. The throw just a hair high. Takes Pudge a second to come down with it. LUCROY giving it his best bolt right here. If that throws a hair lower, he's out.
Milwaukee gets their 2-run lead back, and here's Weeks. How about the Brewers? A homer, a double, and 2 RBIs from the number 9 spot today. The Nationals have now given up 24 runs in this 3-game series.
You know, when you're struggling as a team, every little mistake becomes a huge mistake. You talk about the walk to Weeks last inning and the curveball in the dirt. He advances to second base. It changed the whole dynamic of the inning. He ends up scoring. Now Jerry Hairston Jr. at third base. A tough chance, but a play he'll tell you he should have made leads to another run. You're playing good. You're scoring lots of runs. Not that big a deal, but when you're scuffling, it becomes a huge deal.
Two-one from Coffey to Weeks, and he hits that ball right off the end of his bat. So the Nats picked up an unearned run in the top of the 8th. Any runs the Brewers score will be unearned here in the bottom. And a fastball bounced over the mound. Desmond to cut it off. And he gets Weeks. Big run for the Brewers. Nats have 3 outs left on the road trip. Down by 2. Final 3 outs here. Top of the 9th inning. Cameron Lowe still in the game. Milwaukee on top. 6-7-1 Brewers. 4-6-1 Nats. And it'll take more than 1 run now to tie the game because of that unearned run. Danny Espinosa 0 for 3 today, and he's 1 for 9 here in Milwaukee.
He's hit into some tough luck, too. He got robbed of a couple hits the first night. His approach at the plate lately has been much better.
On the road trip, 6 for 26. First pitch fastball from Cameron Lowe, who has 1 major league save. He got that with the Texas Rangers back in 05. Originally drafted by Texas. That's a bouncing ball out to Betancourt. Out number 1 here in the 9th.
You come in the game, the ball's going to find you. Betancourt with a big hit earlier. Big RBI, and all of a sudden, what happens? You get a ground ball. Happens every time.
Next up will be Pudge. 0 for 3 today. At one point, this was a 1-2 road trip after the Friday night win in Baltimore. Now the Nats have lost 4 straight. And Pudge will hit it hard up the middle. Weeks over to get his body behind it. 2 down. Jerry Hairston Jr. is next, then the pitcher's spot. And the Milwaukee Brewers are on the verge of their 9th consecutive win here, and their 6th in a row overall. They're about to make their record a major league best, 13-3 over their last 16 games. Hairston looking to bunt his way aboard, and that ball's well fouled.
Good idea, trying to bring the tying run to the plate.
Cameron Lowe, 29 years of age, signed by Milwaukee as a free agent December of 09. 53 games last year with a 2.78 ERA, one of the better middle to setup guys in the league last year. That's a strike, and it's 0-2. That's the loudest cheer I've heard all year for a foul tip.
They're excited that Jerry Hairston's fighting up there.
Oh, brother. Now the fireworks guy heard the crowd and set off a couple of fireworks. Oh, 0-2 pitch. And this one hit to the third baseman, Craig Counsell. Game over, series over, road trip over, and not a good one for the Nats. 2 hours and 52 minutes, and it's a 1-7 road trip.